All right, all right. Are we good? It looks like it. Yep, here we go. Denny is with you once again. How y'all doing? What y'all doing? What you want? What you want? I'm just enjoying, just finishing off this pineapple juice, but I do mix it with part sparkling water, Perrier this time, so you don't get that big sugar bomb, and but you still get the benefits of the pineapple juice. You're welcome, ladies. But as for what I want to talk about tonight, I am in my home again in the bedroom, and it is Sunday evening recording this. Winter is definitely here, and the holiday season is upon us. But there's always stuff to talk about, and my previous videos, I'm sure if you've been watching, by the way, subscribe if you have been watching and haven't hit that subscribe button yet. I would appreciate that for sure. And I just talk about my observations and what I see out there, what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, try to be honest about it, and sharing that with you to know, am I taking crazy pills? Do I have a very radical or skewed view of society, or do I have a lot of folks that share my opinions and see what I see? Do you see what I see? And it's important to find common ground with people, and people that can relate to what you're saying, that see the same things, that have the same opinions. Diversity of opinions and thought is great, but you also need people that share your views and share some of your ideas. That way you can, like I say, have common ground and bond and have relationships, and just know that you're not alone in the world, which is something we need these days, because a lot of people do feel alone and isolated, and there's a lot of negative emotions in people these days, maybe more than ever, like frustration or confusion, isolation, like I said, and maybe just overall well-being of people has gone down for a myriad of reasons, economics or just social reasons, just society evolving and changing in a way that is unbeneficial for a lot of folks. And I'm just here to talk to people who may be a little bit lost, or just want to hear me share what I have to share. And I appreciate everyone that's been watching. Subscribers are trickling up a little bit, and that's good to see. So I'm glad you're enjoying and engaging in these things. So like I say, I talk about lots of different things that I'm seeing and experiencing in the world. And one thing that I found fascinating, like just in my mind, is this perception, or maybe it's not just my perception, or maybe it's something objectively that's happening, although the topic is subjective, and that's the topic of attractiveness. And is it changing, and in a way that's where there's less and less people that you would think are attractive, like are ugly people more commonplace now, or is it kind of always been the same, and it's the social media and other influences that have skewed things? And it's a fascinating discussion because of the internet, and because depending on what you're consuming, what content or even where you are in the world, what city you may live in, and who you hang out with, what your socioeconomic status is. All these things can influence your perception around you, and um, you know, as it relates to being a single guy and just trying to figure out where you fit in the dating market, or where what the opposite sex thinks of you, or what society in general thinks of you in terms of your overall attractiveness, and how that affects you in your other relationships, friendships, your career, your job, just your community, the people around you, and how at least making an effort to maximize your attractiveness within your power can make life a little bit less shitty, lack of a better term, could make your life increase your quality of life. Now, we don't all, it's genetics is a big part of it, and your upbringing and economic status will affect how attractive you are, for sure. Like me, for example, I don't really know exactly where I stand. I'm kind of in a weird place, especially with, like I say, the internet, social media, and how people's tastes and views have maybe evolved. Like I'm very much a mixed bag genetically. I am taller than average at about 6'3", so that's always a good thing. I'm thankful for that. I don't know how much of an impact that has, because I have still had a hard time with trying to find partners and having success in dating life, sex life. Haven't been in a relationship yet, but I do my best to look the best I can. But even that, I felt like I've fallen short. I could have put better effort into it. But lately, I'm just doing as much as I can to, within my whatever my energy levels allow, as far as going to the gym, trying to get in better shape, staying active. I'm trying to take care of my skin. I haven't been making the most healthy choices the last few years with food and drink. Like, I'm trying to drink more water, and like I've got some water and some pure pineapple juice here, and I'm trying to drink more water during the day to at least get my skin as nice as it can be. And I try to use moisturizer and invest a little bit, and these things cost money. And maybe that's why it seems like maybe that affects the amount of attractiveness people have, because it is an investment. It does cost money to buy these products, and to go and pay for like a better haircut, and get some better clothes, gym membership, personal trainers, a high quality diet costs money. So to get leaner and to consume stuff that's healthier but more expensive to improve your appearance as best as possible. You can also do the teeth whitening. You can, you got to go to the dentist to get your teeth clean so they're not all like yellow and whatever. So there's these things you can do, and they do cost money. And since we live in high inflation and economic struggles, maybe people are cutting back on these products and these practices, these habits that you can do. So yeah, personally, I mean, I like, I was, just to circle back a bit, I don't know exactly where I stand. I know I'm not at the bottom. I do, have the height thing going for me. My hair, like, I'm in my mid 40s. I still have a decent head of hair. I have noticed like maybe a small, like just a marginal, like little bit of thinning, and just a tiny bit of receding. But nothing to be worried about. My father is just turned 70 years old, and he still has like a full head of hair. Is it not the same hair he had 20 years ago or anything, but it's still there, and I probably take after him. So that's, a plus. And the rest of me is like kind of normal. Like I kind of have normal teeth. Like they're not perfect by any means, but I do keep them clean and white, and that's very important. Having brown or yellow or that's it's gross. If you got that going on, there's probably no amount of other stuff that's gonna, kind of make people look past that. I deal with a lot of people in my job, and clients and different customers and random people. And if I see like someone that's got, if there's like that little tinge of yellow, it's not that big of a deal. But when it's like that dark yellow or like starts getting like brown, like really darkened teeth, it's just not pleasant to look at. So teeth, and also your breath. Like I'm very like I follow a strict routine to make sure my breath is all right. Like I've been drinking more peppermint tea, which helps. You can eat parsley, because a lot of breath is like an internal thing. Drink more water, stay hydrated. Very important. Then I also floss every day, and I use like good toothpaste. I brush 2 times a day. I use a tongue scraper to scrape that old bacteria off. I rinse very well. And I do this, in the morning before I go to work, dealing with people, and especially if I have an occasion where I'm meeting friends or going out to the bar or something, I even go a little extra few steps with the mouthwash and things like that. So these are little things that are within your control. There's things I can't control. Like I'm not like the most manly like man. I look at some people, some guys that are maybe overweight or shorter and losing their hair and stuff like that, bad skin, have kind of more kind of traditional unattractive features. And I know I'm doing better than them. I'm kind of like up above them. I don't want to say I'm like better than any. I'm just objectively, that you can put me side by side with somebody like that and ask a woman, who's the more attractive guy. I'm going to be probably picked as the better option. But at the same time, I do have shortcomings, no pun intended. I like I say, I don't have like such a structure. Like I'm not like the manly guy. Like I go to my gym and see some of these dudes, and it's like I have like there's I can't compete with any of that. All the like lifting and days I've been in the gym, like this is like all I have to show for it. It's not, I'm fairly lean. I'm not super skinny or anything. I do have a little bit of muscle tone, and it's something I can improve a little bit, and I'm going to try to do that. But some of these guys are just built different, like right to the core, right on a cellular level. They're just a different human being, completely different genetics. Like they have such a stronger like jaw than me. I can't really grow facial hair, so whatever little I do have, I shave it off. So the girls that like the nice solid beard and the goatee look, I can't, that's never going to be me. They're never going to get that from me. And even like everything looks stronger on some of these guys. Like even their skin looks more like durable. I don't know I shouldn't be like, I don't know why I'm like checking out dudes that much, or a little bit gay, but kidding, of course. We all check out our competition. And these guys are just built like, they just have genetics that they can build muscle on. And I know some of them use gear and those special supplements that most of us can't afford. But it is what it is. I'm not, there's not much I could do about it, so why worry about it? I'm not going to be Mr. Ripped or Mr. Fitness Model or the super attractive, what they call them, Chads or whatever it is, that get all these women's, like the traps and the, I mean, I'm not that bad physically. Like I have kind of broad shoulders, and my legs are toned because I played hockey my whole life. My legs are kind of a little bit skinny, but they're very firm, and they're toned and look okay because I played sports all my life, including hockey, which you really work out your glutes and your hamstrings skating. So I got that going for me, and some of these guys are like they have a muscle, but they're almost like too thick, and some women find that unattractive. Like these guys that, like, if they didn't train, they would just be fat. They got like the big fat calves and things like that, and which I don't. My legs are not fat at all. But enough about me personally. That's kind of where I stand, and it's just being kind of in the middle, like that mixed bag. Like I say, it's like almost weirdly difficult place, because I do get some attention and some attraction, but it seems like it's from people and women that maybe don't think they could do better than me. It's like I'm attractive, but not attractive like enough. Like I'm still attainable. Like I'm not at that level where I'm unattainable, where the women just give up. Like, oh, that guy's got women too much, I'm not even gonna bother. So maybe I'm at that level, which is sometimes it's a pain, because if you're at that really lower tier where you're not getting anything at all, then that's almost in some ways easier, because you can just give up and move on and don't even worry about dating these days. But even then, you could do stuff to improve. You could, even if you're short or whatever, bald, you can still get ripped and do other things to your appearance and personality. And like I said, with the cleaning yourself up, doing stuff that you can control, like whitening your teeth and having a good diet, making sure your skin looks nice, and having a good personality, smiling, confidence, all that will still get you up into the mid tier, if you want to go through that. If you feel like it's just not worth it, where you're at, then that's obviously your choice. I'm not a self-help guy. I'm not like selling some product or course that's gonna get you women or whatever. I'm pretty much a realist, but I try to keep it as positive as possible, and not try to keep people down or tell them it's, like I say, I'm not an expert, so I don't know that what people are capable of, how much they can improve. I just, God bless you, and wish you the best in whichever road you take, and live a healthy, fulfilling life, whether you decide to pursue women or want to improve your dating life or not. That's totally up to you. I'm not pushing you one way or the other. I'm just giving my opinion. And it's like a lot of attractiveness these days is based on personal taste as well. And just in like recent years, for me personally, and I think a lot of guys my age, who are maybe even 10 years younger or 10 years older, I think we're probably in the same camp in terms of what we see going on with women these days, and men to some degree. But with women, as an example, like I've noticed that I don't see as many attractive women these days in just everyday life around here. And maybe some of that has to do with just the evolving culture and some of the trends that have been going on. And maybe it's just um, women as well kind of giving up and not even trying to be more attractive because some of the social programming has maybe told them that, you can just roll out of bed in the morning and a guy should just accept you for how you are. And I understand that. But it's also interesting how things have changed. Like me personally, it's like we see all these things that have changed from a generation ago, like tattoos, for example. Like women are, a lot of them are just like have a lot of tattoos. And I know a lot of men in my age group, and like I say, 10 years plus or minus, most of us are not really huge fans of that. There's a perception, there's red flags that we agree exist with women that have a lot of tattoos. And I'm not sure why they do it, if it's just for trendy reasons, if they feel it's making themselves more attractive, or if it's just some kind of self-inflicted thing, some kind of insecurity, or something connected to how they were raised and their childhood and early environment, maybe the people they've been around. Yeah, there's some deep psychology that's around that topic that I don't have time or expertise to go into. But yeah, there's tattoos, and a lot of girls, they like have the weird colored hair, and like the blue and pink and purple and all that green hair, the nose rings, the attitude of not seeing a need to go to the gym, like love me for who I am. And a lot of overweight people, including women. And there's sort of like this fat acceptance movement that's going on. So you've got all these things happening that didn't really exist way back when. And maybe as a result, guys are not seeing as many attractive women in their day-to-day life. And also, like I say, personal tastes. Like for me, I find a lot of different types of women attractive, but then there's also stuff that to me makes them unattractive. Like I said, a lot of tattoos, or the metal in the face, or kind of weird hair or makeup, like the gothic thing, or stuff like that. There's actually a good example of this is a wrestler, a female wrestler who's very popular and successful in the WWE now, Rhea Ripley. I think that's her name. Now she, from stature wise, she's kind of a taller and very physically fit, physically attractive woman. But unfortunately, what turns me off, and a lot of other guys, is everything else. Like she's got the crazy kind of gothic makeup, and like I think she has like a nose, like metal in her nose or whatever she's got going on, and like the crazy like dark black hair and the crazy eye makeup and stuff like that, very Marilyn Manson-ish. And even some of the clothing, it's all like this black leather almost dominatrix type stuff. But other than that, you strip all that away, and she's absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, she wears black lipstick too, which I'm not a fan of. But you take all that away. I actually saw some old pictures of her, like when she started getting into wrestling, even before that. I think she done some modeling. And she is absolutely gorgeous, like just in her natural state. If she just like wore a dress or, something nice, then I would look at her a different way rather than what I see her present herself as in the wrestling world. And I think a lot of that, we're not seeing people that we find attractive. A lot of it is presentation as well, because yeah, like of different social influences. Women are just maybe not looking as attractive, but genetically, physically, that is still there. So that could be part of it. What else? I think another factor might be what we're consuming, like our food supply. Maybe it's not as healthy, and we are there's chemicals and different things messing with our hormones. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's why you see more and more fat people these days, and people just not looking after themselves, like I mentioned earlier in the video, not investing in diet, nutrition, and exercise. But it's also interesting because there's the fitness and health and fitness and nutrition space on YouTube and just in the world, like on the internet. That's like industries that are billions and billions of dollars, like supplements and all these things. So you would think that society would become more attractive with all this stuff. And you're just not seeing it. Or maybe you're seeing the attractive people just become more attractive. Like there's this like gap growing. You have like all the, just like money or looks or status or anything, there's going to be the top 10% and then everybody below, a huge drop off like after that. Maybe that's going on in health and fitness, and maybe it's a lot of these health fitness spaces are a lot of like empty promises and a lot of garbage and marketing that doesn't really work, or it may work, but the people aren't dedicated to following through these regimens and these plans that these fitness gurus come out with. And like there's like hundreds of fitness and health gurus and doctors and stuff online. There's all this contradictory information. So maybe it's kind of canceling everything out, and generally people aren't getting better or healthier or looking better as a result of this. This industry is just taking in all this money and the results aren't there. But I go to my gym and like, of course, there's like a lot of good looking, healthy, strong people, guys with muscles, and women that are beautiful and toned bodies and all that. So it depends where you go. But overall, just like when I go to a mall or just out in daily life, I rarely see a woman that's like really, really good looking. Like the last one I saw that was a complete stunner was like a month ago at that big wine and drink festival. About as close to a 10 out of 10 as I've seen in recent years. And she was with a group of girls. She had a wedding ring or an engagement ring. Surprise, surprise. And gets you, it kind of reminds you how difficult it is in the dating world, especially to get a really attractive woman that has so much attention that you can't even imagine. And like even if she was single, like, what am I gonna walk up to her and make something happen when with the options she probably has in her life? So that's depressing to think about. But I guess you gotta find your lane where you fit in and just try to make the best of it. Try to get the most attractive girl possible if that's what you want. And of course, it's not all looks, part of what's making people unattractive, I think, is personality traits and lack of social skills, especially with younger Gen Z. They're not socialized the way we were. And I think what makes people attractive is part of what makes them more attractive is how they communicate. If they, smile, if they have a little bit of charisma, charm, if they have a sense of humor, that automatically like boosts your attractiveness way up. Even having like a at least a little bit of enhanced level of vocabulary. Like I said, smiling, knowing when it's appropriate to laugh and when it's not, social calibration. These are also very important things that I look for, whether it's getting a new client or a friend or a girl I may be interested in pursuing. These are very important things. If a girl looks great, but her personality and her attitude is trash. Attitude is a good word to describe it. There's a lot of shit attitudes out there, men and women, and the women with the shitty attitudes, entitled, and not even feeling like they have to like present themselves in a more attractive way. They just kind of wear like whatever, and they just expect men to treat them well, and they don't have to do anything in return. You see a lot of that going on, and that's very unfortunate. So those things are important to me, especially when you get older. You look at that stuff when you're younger, maybe you don't care so much. It's all just like primal attraction. You just want to get up in there. You don't care what type of background or how good her vocabulary or her charisma is. So yeah, it is interesting. Everything's kind of mixed and confusing. And if you're on the internet a lot, and if you're like one of these lonely guys that's going on to OnlyFans or Instagram, Facebook, they seem to send you this stuff with these attractive women, these short clips, these videos, and most of the women are just like stunning, gorgeous, and they're just doing stupid, mundane things, and these videos are getting thousands and millions of hits. Now with me, I'm not on social media very much at all. Like I don't even have Instagram or X or anything. I do have Facebook to keep in touch with friends, but I don't go on there very often. I might scroll once a day or once every couple days to see what's happening. And they send me these like clips of these women. And if I was in the house all day and all I did was scroll Instagram, because like the top most attractive people probably by the algorithm get pushed to the top, I would think like this is a time in history where it's the most attractive women ever. But the truth is, you're only seeing on these apps, like on these Instagram and stuff like that, you're seeing like a tiny fraction of 1% of the population of women out there. So, I mean, if you think about it, even let's say like a country like Australia, which is what, 26 million or something like that. And let's say even like there's 1,000 Australian women that are Instagram models that are very popular, that have millions of views. 1,000 women in Australia is like a tiny, like 1,000 out of 26 million is a very small part of the population. Well, women being half, I guess. what would it be like 14, 13, 14 million women, and like a thousand of them it is a very tiny percent. And you do that with each country, and of course it's going to add up to a large number, but ultimately a very small number in compared to the population. So when you go out to your gym or the mall or the bar, nightclub, whatever city you're in, you're probably not going to see the top Instagram models at these places. So that can skew your perception. And you can even be thinking like, well, I'm seeing all these hot women on Instagram, but not in real life. And the other factor may be these social media sites, they're filtered. There's a lot of filters going on. Like a lot of these pictures are photoshopped. Even the videos are put through filters to make them look more attractive than they are. Now they're using AI, and you don't even know if they're real. They could be completely fake women that you're looking at, women that don't even exist at all. And then that is screwing up men's brains, I think. And they're, no matter what girl they meet in real life, it's not going to live up to that. It's kind of like the dangers of pornography. You watch enough of it, and it's like, first of all, you're probably not going to meet a girl that looks like your favorite porn star just by the sheer numbers. Like the probability is very low. And even that, it's like whatever sex plays out in real life is never going to be like the stuff you're watching on the internet, because that's been manufactured to some degree. There's acting involved, there's filters and different things that are making it appear in one way that is not real. You're only seeing what the camera wants you to see. So it's a manipulated version of sex, and when you don't get that in real life, it messes with your head. So there's that going on, and yeah, it's just interesting, man. I don't know what to think. I'm just seeing through my experience. I just see it feels my perception is it feels like I've seen more attractive women in the past, and that's just going down. And even men, I see these like studs at the gym or whatever, but most guys, unfortunately, a lot of men have let themselves go and have not kept up, because there's a lot of hopelessness going on. So why even bother making yourself more attractive if it's not working, or you can't afford to, or if you feel like it's not going to help you regardless, so you just don't do it. You're just going to screw it, I'll just eat Cheetos and play video games and try to enjoy myself, because even if I did try to improve myself, maybe that's not good enough. I sometimes think that too, like even if I did, this chair keeps going down, even if I did increase, I'm still going to keep working out and trying to look my best, but even if I did increase my musculature and definition and all that by like 5 or 10%, it still probably wouldn't be enough to compete with the top guys. So that can be frustrating, but at the end of the day, you just have to do what's in your power and what's possible, what's realistic, and be okay with that, be at peace with that. It's God's plan. It's your destiny. It's what you're here to do. It's what you're here to be. And don't be discouraged and let these vain, narcissistic people dictate, what you're worth and who you are as a person. It's not all about appearance. Um, it's just, you could be a beautiful person inside. It's cliche as it is, pretty on the inside, and that's important too. When if I'm looking for someone to spend time with, obviously I like women that are attractive, that are my taste, that are taller and have nice athletic bodies and pretty looking, but should also be pretty on the inside. And I think that's the name of a Courtney Love album, or her band Hole. I think their first album was called Pretty on the Inside. And as a man, you should try to be pretty on the inside. Maybe pretty is not the most masculine term, but be attractive on the inside. Have something, some traits, some strength of personality that will make your life a little better, and that an energy and charisma vibe that people want to be around, because women do factor that in. But yeah, when I talk about attractiveness, I do mean, like, I talked a lot about appearance, but a lot of it is also, like I said, attitude, like the shitty attitudes, the entitlement, the bratty feminists, the Karens out there, the entitled people, the jerks, the jerk-offs, the douchebags, douchebag women too. And then, yeah, and then the physical stuff on top of it. Not, you don't see women wearing dresses as much anymore. They're just out in like yoga pants, which I guess yoga pants aren't so bad, but the tattoos, the ripped jeans, just the lack of effort and pride in their appearance. And then you have like we want classy feminine is what most guys are into. Nice dresses, like sundresses, or even like the nice fitting dresses to kind of show the curves, but not show too much. Like some girls take it the opposite way. There's another problem, which is like, that's happening that I forgot to mention, where it's like too much skin. It's too slutty, too trashy. And that goes with like the too many tattoos, or just taking it too far with the ink and the body modifications. And then on top of that, it's like these skirts where their asses are hanging out and they're just showing like way too much leg, or their whole back is exposed, or tits hanging out, all that kind of stuff. Is like, there is a sexual component to that does turn men on, that does get it will get our attention, that's for sure. It does work, and that's maybe why women do it. But at the same time, it's kind of in that, a lot of men put that in an unattractive column. If a woman is being overtly sexual in her clothing. And I'm not saying they shouldn't be allowed or that it's wrong or anything. It's just like, do what you do, whatever works for you. But the women that do that are going to attract more of a sleazy kind of guy. And, maybe that's what they're after. But, if you are looking for a good guy that has his shit together and has standards, he's might be a little bit turned off by that type of appearance, especially if he's looking for a relationship. So that, along with the tattoos and the body mods and all that, I think most quote unquote normal guys usually stay away from that these days. And there's a lot of, just through experience and evidence, it's clear that that's probably the way to go if you're a guy, is to stay away from those attitudes and that type of energy, and just go with the more classy, traditional kind of thing if you're looking for something long term. I like to see that come back a little bit more, like I say, more class, more femininity. A lot of women these days are trying to be more like men, and that's maybe adding to the numbers of perceived unattractive girls out there. So there's all these things kind of happening at once, and Anyways, that's what I'm seeing out there, and that's what I experience because I do not stay at home a lot. I am out there and I do see what's going on, and I've been to different cities and stuff. And it also depends on what city you're in. Like, I live in a town or city that's pretty big, over 1 million people, 1.5 million with the surrounding towns. But, I'm in Canada, in a medium-sized place. I'm not going to see the same women that you people in Miami or, what am I thinking? Like Miami, Las Vegas, New York City, like it's completely different ball game. You're gonna see different things, different levels of attractiveness. Maybe you are gonna see the actual Instagram models that are like in the top 1% that are absolutely stunning, and that's where they live, in these type of places, or Sydney, Australia, or Toronto, or yeah, big cosmopolitan places. So that'll change your perception too. If you live in some like small town, you may not see any attractive people at all. And that's just the way it goes. But do what you can. Hopefully you got something out of this video. It's just something I thought I'd talk about for shits and giggles based on what I'm seeing, and maybe it's a symptom of what's happening in our society with economic reasons and the influence of the internet and just how people are changing, right? Life is always changing. As I finish my last drop of pineapple juice, it is late. I am a bit tired. Michael watch some TV, and then it's back to the grind tomorrow. I wish you luck in your grind. I wish you luck in your personal development, whether it's improving your appearance or just improving your life in general. I hope things turn around. I know things are bleak. It's confusing out there. It's dark out there, but keep going, stay strong. And I will be here with you, and feel free to share your thoughts. Drop your ideas and your stories in the comments. Let me know if you agree or disagree. I hope I haven't offended anyone. I'm just trying to be real, and hopefully you can appreciate that, and keep watching. That's all I can ask. Thanks for the subscribers. Leave a like, leave a thumbs up. I have a PayPal donation link if you want to support me. That way you can leave a super thanks as well, which is always cool. And that is it for tonight. Good night, or I don't know, it'd be night when you're watching this, but I wish you the best. And as always, God bless. Take care of yourselves and each other. Peace. Denny. Later.